Welcome everyone to a new vlog. Today is a little behind the scenes of our school day mornings. This has been my favorite cooking oil to use recently. It's very light and it's great for sauteing and making eggs and things of that nature. I like it, it's healthy, and yeah, check it out if you'd like. On school days, I get up around 6 a.m. before everyone else, and so that I can just have a slower flow in the morning and everybody else can be in a good mood. As best as I can help with my mood, because I realize that my mood definitely affects everybody else. So I like to wake up about 6 a.m., come out, have Alexa playing some lo-fi hymns. I'll have the playlist in the description if you're interested. I'll set the kettle, boil some water for my herbal tea, and then I'll get to work. So I've already done part of the lunch bag, so you'll see that later. But right now I'm working on breakfast because around this time the boys are beginning to get up. My husband is finished getting ready for work, and then he can help, we can tag team and get them together, get them ready for school. I realize that I put a lot of salt in there, but we'll take care of that later with honey. I promise. This is my This Mommy Prays mug from my Mother's Day collection on Zazzle. So if you like one or to see all the designs I have for Mother's Day, definitely check the link in the description. It will be there. So my boys, they enjoy hot breakfast. We enjoy making hot breakfast. My oldest will eat all. My youngest, not so much all the time, especially when it comes to breakfast. So I just like to put enough, okay? I don't want him to have this whole big old plate of food and he doesn't finish it, because to me, I'm like, that's wasting it. I'd rather you ask for more than me put up a whole bunch and you waste the food. We also like to use either honey or pure maple syrup for our pancakes and waffles. They both have great nutrients to them, and they're better for them overall than the regular maple syrup that you'll find in the stores. So now I'm pulling out the sandwiches that I made earlier. As you can see, I had already partially packed the bags. So now it's just time to organize everything in their lunchbox. By this time, they're already out eating their breakfast, and we're just finishing up the things that have to be done. After this, I'll be doing hair, making sure everybody's lotioned, making sure everybody looks decent, have brushed teeth, all those things. Teamwork definitely makes the dream work around here. I have come to find that if I'm in a good mood, if I am slow, if I am calm, that affects the rest of the household. And so if I am not rushing, they are not feeling pressured to be rushed, and it just makes it better overall for all of this. So whatever routine that you can find to help keep the peace, do that. So I am here waiting at my job for the day. I do some, I guess you can call freelance work, some odds and ends for a local company that employs women to help other small businesses and even individuals at home with errands, office work, odds and ends, events, content creation, all kinds of things, home care management type stuff, all kinds of stuff. So today what I'm going to be doing is, I believe, sorting, hanging, and taking pictures of some clothing for a clothing swap for a local business or organization. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're running late, so I'm just here waiting. So I figured let me just take the chance to just talk to you a little bit. Update for the business. I am currently working on saving up some money to buy a new printer. The printer that I've had, that I do have, I've had it since 2017-ish, and it's a photo all-in-one printer. So I can print photos, I can print, I can scan, I can fax, I do all of those things. But the problem I've run into is that it is not a backloading, and the card stock that I want to use in order to print greeting cards from home and art prints from home cannot fit in that printer. that's where I'm at right now. My budget right now is like $200 to $250. I've been doing a little bit of research. I see that there are some that are pretty good. I could definitely be spending more, like 5, 7, a couple $1,000s, but I'm like, we're just gonna start small, just bump it up, see how this works, how it tracks as far as like making the cards and getting them sold, making art prints and getting them sold, and then we'll decide like if we want to either bump up and get a more expensive printer or if we're going to outsource. I believe either way, even if I end up getting like a really big order, I still will outsource it. But for like everyday orders, I would like to just be able to process them in-house. That way I can play around with a lot more designs, a lot more cards, a lot more art prints, and have a bigger selection and just print on demand. So as I get the order, I just print it and then have it. And I may have like maybe if I have one that I feel like, oh, this is getting pretty popular, like I'll print enough to have back stock, but I don't want to be stuck where I have been, like creating the artwork and then taking it to a local printer or online, waiting for them to respond back, doing color checks, edits. Like it's a lot. It's a lot to outsource, and I want to support local, but sometimes like local, like I just haven't found a company that does what I want as fast as I want, like consistently and without the whole back and forth. And I want to be able to, like, somebody order something to be able to get it out within 1 or 2 days and not like multiple days. So okay, she just pulled up. So that's what's going on with me. I will catch up with you guys after I'm done, probably when I'm headed to Carline. My curls have pretty much fallen out. Like what I had going up here is pretty much gone. It's just like I don't know, I'm loving this look. My sister helped me straighten it yesterday. It was down my back. I'll insert a photo. It was down my back. I think that's the longest I've ever seen my natural hair grow, by like 2 inches. So, but it was very thin on the ends. I needed a good trim. I had some breakage. I'm still dealing with like bad shedding issues. So I don't know what the deal is. But when she was like, I don't know, it was just like, okay. But it was like, I guess I like it. I don't know, I have to get used to straight hair. It just felt like flat. But when she cut it, immediately I was like, yes, this is it. So like a slight bump, I was like, that's it. Like I was literally going to look for a new wig that could do this look. Like I have a bob one that I had on in my last video, but it was like blunt and long. It was a little bit longer for my liking, and I was like, if I could just get this like right here or get a bob like a little bit shorter, like I'd be good. And I was gonna start looking for one, but then again, we're trying to save for the printer, so it's like so this was free. This is my own hair. I don't know how long it's gonna last. I don't know how much my hair is going to shrink once, you know, water gets back to it and whatnot. I don't mind poofy. My roots are not slick. There's still some kinkage in there, so that's attributing to like volume. But I like big hair. I like voluminous hair. Like I've always been that way. I've always loved like Shaka Khan was one of my favorite singers, mostly because of her hair. Mostly because of her hair. So, so my rice is cooking, about to finish up. I have these cards here that I made. I'll show you really quickly. Didn't work out. I did an exercise where I had put all of them together like this. I think I have some footage. I'll put it in here if I do. And take them down, and then I went over the last few days just adding layers, adding layers, adding layers. I was going to make cards out of them because I used to do hand painted cards, and this paper, yeah, is trash. As soon as I took even gently, even heating up the washi tape, it just ripped it completely. So I'm like, I don't want it to go completely to waste. Granted, I don't love all of these, but I'm like, this could be good for like some collage work. I do want to try to get into doing some collage art. So these would be great pieces for collage art. But I went ahead and cut out my favorites and added quotes and sayings to them. So let's see, let's start with this one. This one says, I am more than a conqueror. And of course, they're not for sale or anything, but I'll say this one for last. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Just giving me some practice because I do want to do more painted abstract art with quotes on them and scriptures and lyrics on them. This one says, love lifted me. That's an old song. Love lifted me. Love lifted me. When nothing else could help. Love lifted me. Love lifted me. Love lifted me. When nothing else could help. Love lifted me. We used to sing that in church all the time back in the day. But that one says, love lifted me. This one says, live out loud the life God willed for you. It's like the God that God has planned for you. Like, live that loud. Live that life out loud. And then this one is something new that God gave me. And it was, advance the kingdom of heaven by any means necessary. I might actually frame this one. This means very special to me. I was watching a video, and I'll link it in the description. But it was by this girl who was saying, like, what's her name? I always forget her name when it's time. I'll put her name up here. But I have another quote from hers that I got from one of her videos, and I made this painting like a couple years ago. This one says, and I'm gonna get back on track, I promise. One prayer that I'm praying is for God to connect me to the people who are aligned to my destiny, part of my journey, whether it's for a season or whatever it's for. But I came across one of her shorts. It was like one of the first shorts that popped up on my feed one day, and she was talking about advancing the kingdom and how she was watching a podcast, and how the guy was saying, like, a lot of us feel called to ministry, but we automatically think like it has to be in a pulpit. And so what she was saying is that the guy was saying is that ministry is not just behind a pulpit. Ministry is so many things. Like, I'll give examples. Like, ministry is like the life that you live, your lifestyle, coming on here, talking about God, or just how I live my life, or inspiration, things like that's ministry. How you talk to people in your everyday life with your friends and your family, interactions that you make every day, like out in the store. Like, ministry is everywhere. Ministry is beyond the four walls. Ministry is beyond the pulpit. And even in the Bible, it says that, like, there are different giftings and callings, whatever, for, spreading the gospel, spreading the word of God. But she was saying like she's an artist and a writer, and I think she does some television production or like movie production stuff too. Not on a big scale yet. I'm claiming it for you, girl. But she does that stuff, and she was like, who knows? I could be saving lives at my next art gallery exhibition. I could be saving lives. Like, I have a podcast. I write. Like, all of these different things. I'm like, those are all the things that I do too. And like, oh my gosh, like, yes, yes, yes. And she was like all of those things could be used to advance the kingdom. That idea came to me, advance the kingdom of heaven by any means necessary. And not like any means necessary, like cutthroat, like I'm gonna do whatever it takes and I don't care who I knock out or who I hurt and who, not like that any means necessary. By any means, like what do you have in your hand? What is already natural that God has gifted you or talented you with? What God has given you talents for, like what has He given you and instilled in you? What tools, what skills has He built up and placed in you that could be used to advance the kingdom of heaven, to advance the kingdom of God? I was like, yes, use all the things. I always feel like I have to niche down or I have to pick one thing, and that's really common right now. Like a lot of people, and I feel like we're coming out of it, but people feel like they have to pick one thing and just do that one thing. But that's not the way that life is. For a lot of us, we have multi passions. We're interested in a lot of different things. And side note, like not everything has to be monetized. Some things can be for yourself. I was having a conversation with my sister about that. Some things can just be for yourself. Some things could just be a hobby. Some things could be given to volunteer. Some things you could just be giving out of service. Not everything has to be monetized. Like not everything is about money. Like, oh my gosh, like I want money. I want more of it, but my whole life is not all about money. So this just like reminded me, like, advance the kingdom of heaven by any means necessary. Like whatever I have, like anything that I do could be a part of advancing the kingdom. How I talk to strangers, how I deal with my family members, how I'm raising my kids, how I am in my marriage, like all of those things. When people witness whatever it is that you do or whatever it is that you say or how they experience you, all of that is a part of ministry, or can be a part of ministry. And it can also be a way to advance the kingdom because it might intrigue somebody to learn more about God. It could bring them closer to God. It could make them just want to do things in their life that is much more fulfilling and better than they could have ever dreamed or imagined. So yeah, advance the kingdom of heaven. So I want to do more things like this. I have a few right now already on my website. I'll pop up some pictures here because if I go and try to pull them out and do all the things, it'll be a lot. But I do have some that are on nice, thick acrylic paper, not like little things like this. Should I show you an example? Let me show you an example. All right, so here's one of them. I have it framed already. So they come in these pop out format frames, super lightweight, perfect for shipping, real glass, and it comes with instructions. And then back here, you can pop this off, fit it in here or here if you want it to like sit on your desk or on a shelf or like a floating bookshelf or something like that. You could do that. Or they have these notches. So these notches so that you can hang it on a wall with a thumbtack, with a nail, whatever you want. But that's what it comes with. And then you have this black backing. So it'll come like that, and you can pop it out and take out the instructions. Everything is complete together. But this is one of the paintings, and I have 4 of these right now. So this one says, commit to the process and celebrate your progress. That is one of my quotes. So right now I started putting DKO. So all of these, like if it's my original quotes or words of like phrases and things that God has given me, I'll definitely have DKO. So you know it's Desirae. That's my initials. And if you didn't know already, Decalise is a combination of my first and middle name. So Decalise, so it could be like Desirae.Ofori or Desirae.Ofori, like whatever. But yeah, so it's on nice, sturdy, acrylic, textured paper. And then I varnished it. You just pop it in there. Oh wow, look who is here. And pop it in there. And there you go. So these are available. I want to make more of these, and yeah, I'm excited about what the future holds. Rice is finished cooking. I'm gonna go check on that, put my lunch together. Like literally just came home from church, went to Publix, got the stuff, started cooking right away. I'm hungry, gonna go eat. I'll show you what the finished product looks like, and until next time, stay well and be blessed. Bye.